Hello, welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Frank Omalapi, and here are some of the reports we're filing at this time. Ondo State Governor Olusegun Mimiko has dissolved all boards and parastatals in the state. The governor, in a release made available to newsmen by CPA's Eni Akinshola, directed all the affected officers to submit all government properties in their care to the most senior civil servant in the organization. The statement also ordered all senior special assistants and special assistants to the governor to stop parading themselves as one. The solution is in a bid to appoint fresh hands. Meanwhile, the Senate has invited the central bank governor Godwin Emefiele to brief it on the real state of the economy and the current free fall of the naira, of the local currency. This was on the basis of a motion by Senator Nazif Sulaiman of Bauchi North, which received unanimous support in the Senate chamber. Many senators spoke on how bad the naira had depreciated in recent months, with a number of them blaming the situation on poor management of the economy by the previous government. We'll bring you more details on that report. Away from there now, newly appointed Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Ibe Kachuku, has reported for duty within hours of his appointment. He assumed duty at a brief handover ceremony at the NNPC towards Abuja. A statement issued by the NNPC quotes him as expressing gratitude to his predecessor, Joseph Dora, for his hard work at the corporation. He also pledged to work hard to achieve the president's growth aspiration for the oil and gas industry. And our President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the Solid Mineral Development to put a stop to the activities of illegal miners in the country. He handed down the directive at the Presidential Villa Abuja after receiving briefings from the Ministry's Department Permanent Secretary. The Permanent Secretary told State House correspondent that the President is keen on using the ministry to reduce unemployment in the country.
Well, it's very difficult for me to give you all the details because our presentation is quite large because of the sector we are operating under: mineral and steel development in Nigeria. We have almost touched on every issue, especially where the sector can be reactivated to provide a major source of employment, major source of capital inflow by the foreign investors, and proper management of the mining activities, especially the illegal miners that are coming in to mine and use crude processes in processing what they are mining, especially gold and lead zinc, which inevitably lead to poisoning of our local population. Unfortunately, quite a number of people died, especially in Zamfara and recently in Niger. We look at how best the steel sector will be revitalized, especially the steel sector and the issues around the reactivation of the Ajaokuta Steel and the Nigerian Mine or Company.
President Muhammadu Buhari wants the Ministry of Environment to revert to a 1920 report in order to revive the Lake Chad Basin. He issued the directive after receiving briefings on the activities of the ministry from the Permanent Secretary Fatima Mede at the Presidential Villa Abuja. Mede told State House correspondent that the President is concerned about the present condition of the lake as well as the indiscriminate felling of trees in some parts of the country.
Mr. President is also concerned about the fact that Lake Chad is shrinking, has shrunk from the 23,000 square kilometers about 2 decades ago to just 300 square kilometers, which has affected the farmers, the fishermen, and the livelihoods of the people around that area. So he has directed that we should go and look. There was a report that was submitted 1920 about how to prevent Lake Chad from drying up, so that the communities around, even borders communities, including the countries, Cameroon and all of that, benefiting from the activities of fishermen and livelihoods, based on that Lake Chad, are not affected. So he has asked that we should bring up that report immediately. We should see how we can promote the use of LPG gas to reduce the rate at which trees are being cut down.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari is seeking the approval of the Senate for a $75 million loan from the World Bank for Edo State. This was contained in a letter from the President read by Senate President Bukola Saraki on the floor of the Senate on Tuesday. According to the letter, the credit facility is the second part of the $225 million development policy program.
Writing to seek the consideration of the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and approval of a request by the Edo State government to obtain a $75 million credit facility from the World Bank. Your Excellency, you may wish to know that the World Bank had approved a development policy program, DPO loan, budget support for the total sum of $225 million to Edo State government in 2012, to be implemented in 3 tranches of $75 million per annum. The first tranche was approved by the National Assembly in the 2012-2014 Federal Government External Rolling Borrowing Plan. The DPO has since been successfully implemented by the state in 2014.
The Senate has confirmed the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Olonishaki, and other service chiefs recently appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari. This was after a 3-hour closed-door screening of the military chiefs in the Senate chamber. The House of Representatives, for a part, gave the job to an ad hoc committee, which also sat for hours, but still has to submit a report on the outcome of the screening to the lawmakers. Correspondent Basiaye has details.
The screening of the service chiefs was clearly the main activity of the day when Senate resumed plenary on Tuesday. Soon after he opened proceedings for the day, the Senate President called for a closed session. The service chiefs, led by the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Olonishaki, were to be screened behind closed doors. 3 hours later, the doors were flung open. The confirmation hearing is complete, and the military leaders were unanimously confirmed. In a short address, Saraki congratulated the officers and urged them to redirect the cause of the armed forces for positive results in the fight against insurgency and insecurity.
I congratulate them, and I hope that they would give their best to Nigerians who are expecting a lot from our armed forces and bring a new life and the end of the insurgents in the Northeast, and so that, again, the people in the area can go back to live their normal life.
Senate spokesman Dino Melaye gave an insight into what happened during the confirmation hearing.
They requested for support and partnership from the National Assembly, specifically in terms of funding, so that the insurgency will be fought from all fronts. And another aspect to it is that they have told us that they are introducing cyber technology to the fight against Boko Haram.
The Senate also gave assurances on its readiness to perform its oversight role on the military with all seriousness before adjourning to Wednesday, August 5. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
And now, Deputy Senate President Ikekwe Madu is seeking greater diplomatic and economic ties between Nigeria and the Republic of Korea. He made the call yesterday when he received the ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Nigeria, Non Kuduk, in his office in Abuja. The Deputy President of the Senate commended Korea for its support towards the socio-economic development of Nigeria, especially in the areas of education, information and communications technology, agriculture and manpower development through the Korea International Development Agency. He called for more Korean investment in Nigeria and assured his visitors that the lingering concerns of the business interests such as double taxation and pending issues in the oil and gas sector. Earlier in his remark, the ambassador Non Kudok reaffirmed the need for greater economic and parliamentary cooperation between Nigeria and South Korea. He also pledged to continue support of the people and government of South Korea towards Nigeria's development. And now the National Orientation Agency has hailed humanitarian organizations operating in the country for their show of support for Nigerians in distress. The Director General of the NOA, Mike Omero, expressed this appreciation when he received an audience the Rotary International District Governor Mike Omotosho in Abuja. The agency's spokesman Paul Odenyi quotes Omero in a statement as saying that the intervention of humanitarian groups like Rotary has helped to complement Nigeria's national emergency response architecture. The orientation DG commended Rotary for its engagement in humanitarian activities of building schools, assisting government in polio eradication, and sinking boreholes for disadvantaged Nigerians. He added that the core objectives of the orientation agency were reflected in Rotary international activities, which are essential to promote the humanity of people in the world. You're still watching the CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break shortly. We'll be back with more stories. Join us again.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, we don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
All our top stories can be found on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News NG. And now to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, give a space, the news. And also factions of the Ekiti State chapter of the Trade Union Congress is now battling with leadership crisis, one led by Kolawole Olaya and another by Oduayo Adeshuyi, battle for the soul of the union as they both have parallel executive. The Ekiti State government has also been fingered as the brain behind the division experienced by the union. Correspondent Rashid completes the story.
In recent times, activities, especially leadership selection process of labor unions, no doubt leave many questions to be answered. This is playing out in Ekiti State with leadership crisis tearing the State Trade Union Congress apart. A delegate conference held some days back had produced a new set of executives, but Kolawole Olaya says he remains the authentic chairman through a court judgment from the National Industrial Court.
This NIC decision is suit number NIC AK 2012 and 2012 is the basis why I'm here. Everything that took place on Thursday, 30th day of July 2015 is illegal.
But the newly elected executives who emerged at the said delegate conference with Oduayo Adeoye as the chairman denies any court injunction, as Olaya was said to have been impeached earlier.
The election that we just concluded on Thursday, 30th July 2015 was the one that was conducted by the national body of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. I don't know anything about that court judgment. Nobody served me a copy of the court judgment.
We met, we discussed, we passed a vote of no confidence to Comrade Olaya.
While the Olaya faction claims its tenure will end on October 2016, he accused the state government of supporting the Adewumi faction. This was, however, described as mere cry of a loser.
When this government came, a lot of things, took place. Because everything has been impunity in the state. I can mention a series of things which have been done with impunity.
The unions are there to check the excesses of the government. So I cannot imagine somebody who is coming out to say that The TUC has now become the appendage of government.
There is no end in sight to this crisis as the warring factions are not ready to settle the rift, even as the state government is being accused of complicity. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
And our Lagos State Governor Akeomi Ambode on Wednesday sworn in 19 new permanent secretaries in the state civil service with a call on the new appointees to immediately get to work and prove themselves. The governor at the ceremony held at the Banquet Hall, Lagos House, alongside admonished the new appointees to ensure proficiency in the discharge of their duties, charging them to be committed to the principles of good governance, probity, transparency, and accountability. Governor Ambode said the quality of service by his administration will be measured on a daily basis, hence the permanent secretaries must up the ante and be alive to their responsibility. He said the permanent secretaries were drawn from a pool of equally competent and qualified substantive directors, while a careful selection was done based on merit, professionalism, and proven track record of service to the state. Ahead of the 21 November Kogi State gubernatorial election, more than 8 aspirants, including a woman, have formally signified their intention to pick the ticket of the All Progressives Congress. The aspirants turned up at the party secretariat to collect nomination forms and used the opportunity to decry what they say is the clueless administration in the state. They are convinced that APC would form the next government in Kogi State.
That 2 months, I did miracle in Kogi State. Within that month, I touched all the sectors of our life. I established a college of education technical, which was a higher school, which till today is being credited to me as one of the most spectacular things I achieved. We want to stop putting round peg in square holes. When you ask a carpenter to climb the pole and join wire of electricity, if it's electrocuted, you should not complain. It's the person who sent him there.
From their family to other people. We want to put a stop to this. And I want to have a covenant with my people in Kogi State. If you come to my village, I have an uncompleted building. If you want it to remain like that, it will remain uncompleted throughout my tenure. I have a house that is leaking. I will re-roof it so that it will not leak when you come to visit me. But outside of that, I promise you that I'm going to run a government that you can all be proud of. That is why I've collected this form today.
The issue is that it's a collective effort that we should put our heads together and move Kogi State forward. So I have a lot of plans. Look at the state, no job, no salary. A lot of things we are lacking. I was a member of Confab delegates. I was lucky to be in the transport committee. Look at Ajaokuta. If you look at it, it's just 2% to make that Ajaokuta to be in a perfect way.
The Federal Capital Territory Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Zuba has affirmed the victory of Senator Philip Aduda and Zephaniah Gisalo in the March 28 senatorial and House of Representatives election. In a separate judgment, the three-man panel led by Justice Elvis Ngene held that the petition filed by the candidate of the All Progressive Congress lacked merit. APC candidates Sidi Ali and Isa Vari in the senatorial and House of Representatives election challenged the victory at the tribunal, but Justice Ngene dismissed the petition on the ground that the witnesses called by the petitioners failed to prove their allegation of ballot box stuffing and electoral irregularities. The incumbent lawmakers say they had no doubt that they would get a favorable ruling.
The people of the Federal Capital Territory for giving us the mandate to represent them and to serve them, and that this is another affirmation of the fact that we won this election, and that by the grace of God Almighty we'll continue to do the best that we can, leaving the rest to God and working for the progress and unity of the Federal Capital Territory.
To God be the glory. This decision today from the tribunal, we dedicate it to God dedicated to my own constituency, Abuja Municipal and Bari Federal constituency, who agreed to vote for me from the election. And today, court or tribunal have finally declared me again as the winner of this election. To me, I will do my best, as usual, to do those things that concern the people of Amak and Bari Federal constituency.
It came as a real shock when Simon Lalong, governor of Plateau State, announced that he has dissolved the elected local government council's official in the state, a decision that opposes his initial stance on the matter. In this special report, our Plateau State correspondent examines the key players and the role they have played in the Plateau local government dissolution saga.
Part of the reason for our dissolution was one. Immediately we came in, we received a very, very serious report here, especially on financial impropriety. That is being handled by...
The announcement of the governor was greeted with widespread protest across the state in opposition to the local government dissolution. Several council secretariats were barricaded to prevent elected officials from gaining entry, a situation which further threatened the fragile peace in the state.
As you can see, the gates of the council are barricaded. You can see the presence of security personnel on ground effectively.
When the security forces prevented the councillors from gaining access to the secretariat offices, they took the struggle to the State House of Assembly, where the Speaker seemingly denied them audience.
Speaker, as far as we are concerned, they are cornering the government to see that a high level of impunity continues on the plateau, and that, as lawmakers, we don't want to take it. And we will swear to the last drop of our blood not to take that thing at all.
It's not true that somebody wants to see me and I don't want to see him. This is a public office.
As if the tension in the state was not enough, the governor went ahead to appoint caretaker committee to oversee the activities of the local government councils in the state.
Your selection as management committee chairman and that of your other members is a product of broad spectrum consultation, so that you are conscious of the expectation of the people and morally under the burden of conscience to deliver on the expectation of the citizenry. We are on a rescue mission.
Let me make this very clear, that this issue is not about the council chairman. It's about the rule of law. It's about good governance. It's about respecting the mandate and wishes of the people of Plateau State. It's not about the council chairman.
Buhari will have the audacity to come and dissolve Plateau State Executive Council. Then Lalong is right in doing what he has done.
What is he doing?
He has dissolved the local government, elected council members.
Now the stage is set for new local government administrations in Plateau State. Will the sacked chairman lie low and let bygone be bygone, or will they rather fight to recover their seats? Only time can tell.
The Kaduna State government has clarified that it is embarking on process of recovering government land, not a demolition exercise. This it insists is contrary to insinuation by the opposition that the Erufile administration would be demolishing houses built on the premises of public institutions. Special assistants to the governor of media and publicity Samuel Aroa told a selected group of journalists in Kaduna that the exercise will commence on Wednesday. He added that the move has no political or religious undertone.
That was issued 3 weeks ago to individuals and groups who have encroached into public schools and public hospitals. We want to put the issue in a better perspective, in the correct order for people to understand what exactly it is. What we are going to do has nothing to do with, say, demolition. No. What we are doing is recovery of public lands. This is essentially what we are doing. I wish to clarify that the recovery of land in Kaduna State has nothing to do with political persecution. It has nothing to do with witch hunting anybody. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. It has nothing to do with color, height, or size of an individual. All that we're trying to do is to ensure that lands belonging to the people of Kaduna State are restored back to the owners. You will quite agree with me that those that made plan for the development of Kaduna State did that with a vision. We want to ensure that our public institutions have their land back to them. In the next 10, 20, or 30 years, let there be more land for further plan and for citizens to access.
And our Chief of Air Staff, Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has assured Nigerians that the challenges confronting the Nigerian Air Force are surmountable, displaying during a visit to Kaduna that the Air Force was re-strategizing for the task of fighting insurgency in the northeast region of the country. The Air Chief is convinced that the Buhari administration will help restore the pride of the Air Force.
The Air Force has also been a big contributor to peace and security in Kaduna. They have been part of the security organization, the multi-agency cooperative organization that we have. They are contributors to Operation Yaki, and they have been part and parcel of all the security operations, as well as a big contributor in our weekly Security Council meetings. The leadership of the Nigeria Air Force here in Kaduna has been very, very supportive to the state government. And the Aeromedical Center, for instance, is perhaps the best medical facility we have in Kaduna that our citizens use as a last resort whenever they need. If all our armed services are doing the kind of work that I have seen in the Nigeria Air Force Base here in Kaduna, the whole country will be the beneficiary and the better for it.
I think we have identified that we need to re-strategize, and we are mobilizing every resources at our disposal to ensure that the territory of Nigeria is protected and the Nigerian people are. You cannot have everything you require. No country has everything it requires. But what I can tell you is that we are putting together, our reports as to the state of our equipment, and I believe by the time we finish this tour, we'll have a clearer picture. But whatever is on ground, we are going to use it effectively and efficiently. My officers and men are doing very well. They are operating under very, very, very difficult, sometimes very difficult situation. But I can tell you that everybody is doing everything that is humanly possible to ensure that we are effective and we are able to discharge our constitutional responsibilities.
And our Inspector General of Police Solomon Arashe has ordered police operatives to use reasonable force to secure their facilities from attacks. He also warned members of the public against attacking police formations in any part of the country. This warning follows a spate of attacks and foil arson attempts at some police stations. Police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu said in a statement in Abuja that the Inspector General has since directed all field commanders to secure their stations and formations. The police authorities advised members of the public to explore available and appropriate channels to ventilate their grievances. It's still CoreTV News. We'll take a short break now. Be back where it's sport, business, and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And outside Nigeria now, police in central Russia have arrested a 52-year-old man suspected of killing and dismembering his 6 young children along with his wife and mother. The suspect, Oleg Belov, was shot by police on Tuesday after trying to resist arrest, according to Vladimir Morvin, a spokesman for Russia's investigative committee. Belov's 6 children were found dismembered in the family's apartment in Nizhny Novgorod on Tuesday after the children were reported missing to police because they had not been seen at kindergarten since July 25. The body of Belov's wife was said to have reported to be pregnant, is believed to be among the remains. Also, a woman believed to be Belov's mother was stabbed multiple times and found buried near a residential building in town of Korokovet. He has been transferred to the intensive care unit of Central City Hospital Korov in the Vladimir region, where he had surgery Tuesday night. A spokesman has confirmed the victory of pro-government forces in Yemen, which have retaken the country's largest airbase in a battle with Houthi rebels. Heavy casualties have been reported at Al-Anad airbase north of Aden after intense fighting there in recent days. It comes after pro-government forces backed by airstrikes from a Saudi-led coalition retook Aden in July. Military officials quoted by the Associated Press news agency said the foreign troops are helping the pro-government forces operate sophisticated weapons, including tanks. And now Pakistan has executed Shafqat Hussain, convicted of killing a child in 2004 despite appeals from international human rights groups. His lawyers say he was 14 when he was found guilty and his confession was extracted by torture, but officials say there is no proof he was a minor when convicted. He met his family one last time before midnight, then was hanged shortly before dawn at a jail in Karachi. Legal challenges saw his execution postponed 4 times this year. But despite the postponement, legal challenges and intense lobbying, all his appeals for mercy were ultimately turned down. The Pakistani government scrapped a moratorium on capital punishment in the aftermath of an attack on a school in Peshawar in December last year, in which more than 150 school pupils and teachers were killed by the Taliban. Away from there now, the evacuation orders have been given to 13,000 people in California as firefighters struggle to contain some 20 wildfires. Some 9,000 firefighters worked throughout Monday in steep terrain and rough conditions, officials said. The biggest blaze, the so-called Rocky Fire north of San Francisco, has already consumed more than 90 square meters of land. 4 years of drought the western U.S. have left the landscape find dry, coupled with unseasonably humid conditions, lightning strikes and gusty winds. It has posed a severe challenge for firefighters and water-dropping aircraft. Other parts of the western U.S. are also seeing wildfires. More than 300 people were moved from the path of a fire in Washington state, while another burned over 15,000 acres in the region. And in business now, U.S. stock pushed sharply higher and looked to snap a 3-day losing streak Wednesday on the heels of seemingly conflicting U.S. economic data. The main indices advanced in early trade after a softer than expected reading on private payroll growth. Stock ideas the Federal Reserve might not be so hasty about hiking rates, but the reading of the service sector indicates signs of economic vigor surging to a 10-year high in July. Investors have been heartened by signs of economic weaknesses since it suggests that the Federal Reserve may incline to raise rates. On Wednesday, the Standard & Poor's 500 rose 17 points at 0.9% to 2,111.08 basis points, while the Nasdaq Composite jumped 63 points at 1.3% to 5,169.74 basis points. While the Dow Jones Industrial Average was off its section's high, but still up 91 points at 0.5% to 17,635.24 basis points. The Dow Jones was being dragged lower by Walt Disney Company, which was shaving more than 60 points off the blue chip index, which was lower in the wake of disappointing earnings. And while several large cap stocks with strong profit growth are sending a positive message about the stock market health. And now to sports now. Daniel Sturridge is aiming to launch his season after the first international break as he continues to make a smooth recovery from hip surgery. The Liverpool striker was forced to have an operation on his left hip on May 6 in New York, and it was initially anticipated he would not be able to train for 4 months following the procedure if it effectively ruled him out of competitive action until October. Sturridge, however, has spent this summer in the United States working with the doctors who performed the operation and has been in frequent contact with Liverpool's medical staff in an attempt to shave some time off his rehabilitation period. It is now expected the 25-year-old will return to Melwood, Liverpool's training base, at some point in the next couple of weeks, and the target will then be back playing after the next round of European Championship qualifiers, which will be held in early September. And Arturo Vidal made his first Bayern Munich start as the Bundesliga club beat AC Milan 3-0 to set up an Audi Cup final against Real Madrid as Joan Bernat gave Pep Guardiola's side the lead after 24 minutes when he cut aside Mattia Di Siglio and saw his shot deflected off Christian Zapata on its way into the night. The hosts had to wait until late into second half to secure victory as Mario Götze double managed advantage before substitute Robert Lewandowski ferocious volley with 6 minutes remaining put the seal on a comfortable win. However, Bayern coach Guardiola was angered following a robust tackle from the Holland international Nigel de Jong, which first injured Germany under-21 ace Joshua Kimmich off early on 25 minutes during the Audi Cup pre-season clash in Munich. And now Cristiano Ronaldo's afternoon stint at the best ball juggling hobo in Spain has been shown in its entirety after he stunned the Madrid public with his antics early this year. The Real Madrid superstar was cunningly disguised as a homeless person, complete with bedraggled bed, pad suit and dog companion, before spending an afternoon showing off his skills in Madrid's Plaza del Calaro. People were unaware they were in the company of one of the world's greatest players. Most people in Spain's capital were pleased to engage with the mysterious vagabond before Ronaldo revealed his true identity to an unsuspecting young star after almost embarrassing the young boy with his dribbling skills. The 30-year-old stopped to sign the ball he had been playing with before stripping off his disguise and gifting the ball to the awestruck child, while subsequently creating pandemonium in the street. Quite an entertaining one there. And in entertainment now, good news comes for the fans of the epic trilogy, The Hobbit, as Peter Jackson adaptation will once again impress movie goers as it will come to theaters this October in the extended edition. It was Faraway Entertainment which first revealed plans for The Hobbit trilogy extended edition to get theatric release in Fathom event, and Warner Bros. Are partnering to present the extended editions of all 3 Hobbit movies. Shown after 3 nights, the epic Peter Jackson trilogy will be first time the extended edition have ever been released in the theaters. Also included will be an exclusive introduction by director Peter Jackson. First night showing starts Monday, October 5th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. local time. Tickets will be regular admission price for each movie, which read the statement in the website. Well, and that's a wrap on CoreTV News at 4 minutes. Thanks for watching. I am Frank Homalape. Bye for now.